Coming up on today's edition of the Time Blueprint, we're going to be talking about spending and getting permission to spend. That's right, getting permission to spend. It's actually a surprising challenge for a lot of retirees and pre-retirees to wrap their minds around after they've spent a whole working life and career saving as much as you can. So we're going to talk about how you unlock that power, give yourself that permission to have a little bit of fun in retirement while still making sure bases are covered. Should be a great discussion together today. Frank, you ready to go?
Let's do this.
We're going to do it coming up next on the Time Blueprint. Well, Frank, we're recording today's episode at the beginning of the year. So it's that time of year where people are trying to improve their lives, resolutions being made, trying to improve our finances is at the top of many people's lists.
Absolutely.
Things. And so we're talking a little about spending today. But before we dive into all of that.
It's a good topic. Ask my wife.
Absolutely. Do you have any good resolutions this year?
Do I have any good resolutions? I'm really not a resolutions guy. Okay. I just try to do what's right throughout the year.
Yeah.
Maybe the standard exercise.
Lose 10 pounds.
Lose 10 pounds. Get off the couch and get back exercising a little bit. So that would be a resolution I should probably adhere to.
Can be hard to do this time of year, but that's okay.
That's all right.
We'll give you some grace. All right. Well, you don't need a specific resolution today other than just a general spirit to get a little bit better with your finances. So some people have trouble spending money with confidence as they retire, especially in those early years of retirement. First of all, can you verify that? Is that the case, and
it's huge.
Why?
It's huge. Yeah, we field that question a lot in our office, and I always say plan, build a plan, look at the plan. And I see this quite a bit. So we have some financial planning software that we talk about quite a bit on these podcasts. And we build a plan for every single one of our clients. And I'll remember I had a light bulb go off, and this might have been 5 years ago. We're sitting upstairs in the conference room. These folks had saved a couple $1 million. They had done pretty well. They live in Longmont, so they're pretty conservative, right? Okay. Which is probably why they save so much. And the husband wanted to retire. The wife was petrified. She's like, we're going to be living in a van under a bridge. I can feel it right now, you know? And I never expected her to, and it's actually what she said. I never expected her to even have that thought cross her mind. Okay. Because I'm looking at their portfolio. I'm looking at their expenses. So I would use a financial planning software to ensure that I was doing the best job for the client. Okay. And the look of fear on her face kind of struck me. And I'm like, what is wrong? And that's when she told me, we're going to be living in a van under the bridge down by the river. If my husband retires, I'm scared to death. So that was a real eye opener for me, is not just to just use the software to ensure that I'm doing a good job, but to make the client feel comfortable in their retirement.
So you saw, this is a tool that's not just as this sort of like back-end financial planner tool, but you have been finding that clients actually appreciate seeing some of that?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. And it's been a big game changer for us as far as making the client feel confident, because I get it. And I think so I'm 56.
It's like a trust but verify kind of thing? Okay.
And I think as you get closer to 60, even in my own mindset, is I can start to feel the angst with these individuals that have spent 20, 30, 40, 50 years of their life saving this money. They're savers, they're accumulators, right? Yeah. And now they quit work, and the hardest thing for them to do is to take that money that they've been saving. They haven't touched, they've been very diligent, and now they have to start the wheels of motion are going to spin backwards. It's like the gears just jam and go the other direction.
And why is that? I mean, what's the underlying reason? Are they just scared that they're going to run out, even if they have millions of dollars at their disposal? They still think it's going to run out at some point? Or
I think that's probably part of it. Okay. And I think individuals really want to enjoy retirement. They want to go take some trips. Maybe they want that nice car that they've been saving their entire life for. Maybe they want a cabin up in the mountains, whatever that situation is. And it's an entire mindset, and I can understand that when you've been a saver your whole life, and now you have to entirely change what's been ingrained in your mind for 50 years of your life, and then change that in a matter of 30 days when you retire. But again, I think a plan really helps you become a confident spender.
So it's back to a confidence issue, and then developing more confidence with spending because you're confident in how your savings are going to provide for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just look at your Social Security, your pensions, your expense plan, your cash flow analysis. Use a conservative rate of return, 4 or 5%, and puts inflation on there. You can get a pretty good picture of how confident you'll be in retirement.
Is there any element? Some of this sounds like it comes from fear. Maybe a big majority of it is some of the element coming from guilt. Like, do you ever have somebody that's sitting across from you and they're just like, I kind of feel guilty spending.
Yeah, you have to coach people through that. And I think there could be some guilt, because it's, they're feeling maybe it's irresponsible to spend their savings.
Okay.
Because the savings is there for a reason. It's for an emergency. It's a rainy day fund. But
not so much guilt of having saved so much, but guilt and having all of this at their disposal, but more of a guilt of flipping that mental switch.
Yeah, and I think they want to be responsible and predictable with their spending, and I'm not sure everybody knows how to do that. And I think that's where the lack of confidence comes in, is if you don't have the proper tools, to show this forecast down the road, that if I spend this much money on an annual basis and I do take these vacations, I'm still going to be okay. But you really got to have those numbers run. But I can feel it with a lot of folks that come in here, and I understand it. So
yeah. All right, let's look at the opposite problem. Tell us about somebody who came in with too much confidence in their spending, and you had to maybe reel them back in a little bit.
Yeah, well, we see that from time to time as well. And it's, again, you just have to look at the numbers. I think that people like material possessions, and I see folks retire and the first thing they do is go buy a brand new $80,000 truck.
Right.
Or they go buy a boat, or they buy a Sprinter van, and that's all fine. I'm okay with that. But I really think that yet before we make any big purchases at retirement, we really need to run an analysis. And then if you have the funds necessary, you can go buy the Sprinter van or buy the new truck or buy your fishing boat that you've wanted your whole life. Absolutely. But, fools rush in, right?
Yeah. Don't buy it without the plan.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Run the analysis. It's not that hard.
Either way, it always comes back. It seems like we're going to come back to confidence, and it's either needing to reel it in a little bit until we have the plan, and then, hey, go for it and have fun.
Absolutely.
Or we've got to build confidence in somebody. But that's where it sounds like your software and your planning process really tries to unlock for folks.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. All right. So in summary, I'm curious if you can maybe share with us like 3 lasting ideas or spending strategies that might change a retiree or a pre-retiree's life. What are some tangible pieces of advice you could give to somebody?
Well, I think creating spending buckets is really, really important. So we use a bucket strategy to explain several different types of financial planning. So the buckets that I would use for this would be a cash bucket that you get 6 to 12 months in cash. It's your vacation money in case the stock market crashes. There's your home repair money. There's your car maintenance money. There's your fun money, your birthday money, stuff like that, right? And then get a 3 to 5 year bucket. That's your income bucket. So 3 to 5 year bucket, that's your income bucket, because the market can get fickle on us in 3 to 5 years.
Sure.
So if you got your cash bucket and you got your 3 to 5 year income bucket, then you get your growth bucket. And we know the growth bucket may drive us crazy from time to time, but as long as you got buckets 1 and 2 in place,
in terms of its ups and downs,
that's right, and that'll help you be a more confident spender as well.
Okay, excellent. All right, so one strategy, buckets. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think getting set up on an automatic withdrawal makes sense for a lot of people. Okay. I think it's something that once those withdrawals start to come out, let's just say you got $1,000 a month, that you're not going to notice that big hit in your portfolio. It'll become automated, and you won't even notice it. It'll just be like mailbox money coming in, just a paycheck coming in. So
like that
makes it really
that lady
easy.
In the first couple you were talking about, she probably had in her minds this idea that here's their account, but they're going to pull out $100,000 in year 1 to then like one big withdrawal, live on it, and that feels very daunting and overwhelming. If it's just 1,000 here coming out slowly from your accounts over time, I could see someone like her getting that ease from that illustration.
Oh, absolutely. And if you pull $100,000 out of your accounts to take care of your expenses for the year, that's also $100,000 that if the market's performing is not working for you.
Okay, so that's another good tip for folks.
Yep, exactly.
Third and final one?
Third and final one would be the guilt-free fun fund. Right?
Okay.
So set some money aside to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Set some money aside to go have fun. Right.
Yeah.
Just and again, when we're looking at the plan, it's very easy for us to say there's no reason that you can't take $10,000 or $20,000, put in a money market fund, and just have it prepared. So when you get ready to take that vacation, it's there and it's ready. And we'll build it in the plan. We'll show you how to have fun. In our software, we actually have a line item for vacation or miscellaneous, and we'll put fun money in there sometimes.
Yeah,
here's put fun money.
Literally
we see
put
how
the label on it.
Absolutely, and we'll make some fun titles for it, and just get them to laugh. But then you'll put that line item in there and show them how it impacts their retirement over the long haul.
Sure. And
when they feel confident in that, then the fun money line becomes fun money line.
I would imagine that would help folks who both have trouble spending too much, as well as those who have trouble spending at all,
absolutely.
by putting it again kind of in that bucket or that category and giving it that label. It's the permission, but it's also maybe putting some boundaries on it for those who might overspend. So
that's absolutely
helpful
right.
to both sides. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for that help, Frank, and
Of course.
walking us through this conversation about spending. If spending is something that you're concerned about in retirement, how are you going to adjust from all those years of saving to spending? Well, talk to Frank. Go through that planning process and get more confidence in not only the spending part of the equation, but everything else related to finances and retirement planning. You can meet with Frank, in fact, for a no-cost, no-obligation review of your financial plan. See where you are now and what it takes to get you successfully to and through retirement. You can set that up very easily. All you have to do is click the link that's in the description of today's show, and that'll take you to where you can book a meeting with Frank and have that review of your plan. You can also get in touch with Frank by contacting the number that you see on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, or we've got that in the description of today's show as well. Always online at oliverassetmanagement.com as well. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button and the bell so you get notified of new episodes. It helps the show when you like and subscribe. And you can also do that on your favorite audio podcasting apps as well. Frank, have a good week.
Thanks, Walter.
See you soon.
Cheers.
See everybody next time on The Time Blueprint.
Thank you.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Oliver Asset Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated entities. Licensed insurance professional. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as advice or a recommendation for your specific circumstances. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Insurance product guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. We are not affiliated with any government agency and do not provide tax or legal advice.